Julian back here at New York. I said New York Comic Con. We are at San Diego Comic Con. What the hell am I talking about?
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. We're back here at San Diego Comic Con. Who do I have here today?
I'm Meg Wilbur.
Meg Wilbur, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm still awake for some reason.
Yeah. I'm not that hot. A little hot, but not too hot at this point.
No, but today you are Rogue. Tell me about the costume.
So I decided to go with something that was a little bit closer to the 90s cartoon version of Rogue. She's a really dynamic character, and I put a little spin on it. I did a little battle damage, added the trim with the utility belt kind of stuff, but tried to keep it pretty close to the original cartoon.
Do you have any other cosplay plans for this week?
I do. Tomorrow, my best friend and I are going to be running around as Soot Sprites and No Face from Spirited Away. So that'll be that.
What about Sunday?
Sunday, we're just going to hang out. We're going to take a little break.
Yeah, I guess it was too much for you for this week, was it?
Yes, it would be a lot. It's just a lot of prep, and with my job and everything, it's doesn't leave me too much time, but I do like to cosplay, so I try to come up with a couple of things at least.
What got you into cosplay?
I'm actually a special effects makeup artist, so I started cosplaying with some friends and just fell in love with it. The first big cosplay that I did was actually last year. It was Dazzler Thor, which is a very specific version of Dazzler from one run of A-Force. It's a 4-comic run. It's in exactly one of those comics, but she's really cool. I like the mutants.
And you're a mutant for the next few hours, I guess.
Yep, rest of the day, really, for life.
So are you a comic book fan?
Yes, I am.
What are some of your favorite comics?
Oh, X-Men is a huge one that I've fallen in love with over and over again throughout the years. There aren't too many versions of it that I'm not fond of. Alpha Flight, A-Force, anything that's in the X-Men universe. I really love the X-Men. I think they're one of the more interesting communities, and there's so many different mutants with so many different powers, and I think that they have a really cool social impact as well. Sorry, I just punched you in the knee.
No worries.
I'm so excited that I was like, I'm just going to punch you now.
I guess Ro could put her spell on me for today.
I'm going to take all your memories, though.
Well, you could take Captain Marvel's memories, too.
Oh, God. Carol Danvers, I'll fight you. Every Carol Danvers I see, I'm like...
Challenging them to a fight.
Yeah, well, I just won our rematch, so if y'all been paying attention...
They better.
Mm-hmm. They better recognize.
So what does Comic-Con mean to you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Comic-Con is... It's like a big family gathering, people are just so friendly and chatty, and it's a bunch of people coming from a whole bunch of different backgrounds just to celebrate their love of nerdy stuff, which I know nerd culture is super in right now, but when I was in middle school and high school, I was the geeky kid who used to go to the mall to buy her mangas on Fridays once a month when they would come back out. And I bought all my DVDs direct from Japan on eBay. So, it's interesting that it's flipped, and it's really cool to be a part of that. I love how big it's gotten. I love that it's so inclusive, and it really invites people to be part of something.
You must have met a lot of fans since you started cosplaying. What's the best fan interaction you had so far?
I don't know. One time, okay, so there was one time that I was at a con and I dropped an alcohol pallet in the driveway, and I was about to jump into my car, and this little she had to be 3 years old, little girl ran over to me and handed it back to me, and her grandmother came up behind her and was like, "She's a really big fan of yours." And I was like, I don't deserve you. It's so sweet. That was, oh my God, that was a couple years ago, but I'll never forget that. She was just so cute and tiny.
I think everyone has Comic-Con horror stories as well. I have some of my own, but what are some of yours?
Horror stories. You know what? No offense, Adult Swim, but I went to go to the Party on the Green 2 years ago before they started having you wait overnight in line for it when you could just get in. Right. And that it was just such a nightmare that I walking in there, trying to get around the lines, trying to get through the people. The people were really negative. There was such a negative energy there that, like, that would be... I mean, and I don't think that was to the fault of Adult Swim. I don't think it was to the fault of the people there. It was super hot that summer. It was like 100 degrees or more. I mean, it's been hot, but not that hot here.
Right.
So I totally get it, but, like, never again. Never again. I was like, you know what? I'm good. Like, you guys can invite me or don't. I don't need you to. But, like, yeah.
What are some other cosplays you have done in the past?
I did Fuzzy Lumpkins one time from the Powerpuff Girls. I have done... Oh, my God. I'm trying to think of all the things I've done. I'm blanking out. Yeah. It's like Dazzler Thor has been around a couple times to a couple cons. I've done a couple more like anime-centric things to more like anime-centric cons that like were a little lower key, like some like Bounding as like Cardcaptor Sakura, Sailor Mercury.
Yes.
But yeah, I just kind of started getting like fully into this world. So most of the time I'm actually just doing makeup for other people to do cosplays.
Have you done
and cons.
makeup for any celebrities before?
No, not for cons. For other things, yes, but not for cons. But we're trying to break into it.
Oh, who have you done it for?
I mean, just various different people. I've done, wow. You know, it's always like right at the second that somebody asks you a question that you're like, who have I done makeup for? Mindy Sterling, a lot of like YouTuber kids, so like Annie LeBlanc, Haley LeBlanc, Carson Looters, I know Janet Vaughn. I've done shoots for her and stuff. Denise Richards, people like that. There's a long list. It's just, you know, in the industry you get like, oh, like who am I with today? It's happening.
Now, what inspires you the most?
Oh, like creatively or just like to do this or
Creatively and to do cosplay.
I'm mostly inspired by my friends who do really wicked awesome cosplays and wicked awesome cosplay makeup. I have a friend, Kaylin, who's phenomenal and amazing, and a bunch of her friends are also super big into cosplay, and being a part of like her crew has really inspired me a lot. And then just in general, like good films, good characters, good character development, good writing. I don't really like characters just aesthetically. That's not really my thing. I prefer when there's like a solid backstory. My background is in character design, so it's important to me that there's a story being told, and being part of that narrative is the most fun part. So that's where I get my inspiration.
Another X-Men related question. What's your favorite X-Men film?
Pass. Okay, look. X1 is not bad.
Not bad.
But I'm probably going to have to throw it up to Days of Future Past.
That's actually my favorite too.
Nice. Cool. It's the best done iteration of it. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, everything has been trash. Please give us the X-Men that we deserve. Okay, give us Dazzler for more than 15 seconds. But
please, Disney, listen to us.
Please, we just come on. You literally wrote Rogue out. What? She just didn't come back, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But yeah, no. Days of Future Past is pretty good. I was pretty happy with that one.
So you're glad Hugh Jackman made it good in that one?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, Logan is amazing. So he is a Wolverine. You know what I mean? Like, he's a very specific Wolverine, but he does it very well. And he's got my tip of my hat. So.
Since you are Rogue, who do you think you could see as Rogue in the MCU?
That's a good question. Huh.
Anyone in mind?
Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, like, I know she's already committed to another Marvel movie, but, like, Zendaya would kill it. She'd be sassy enough for that, you know what I mean? Like, she's got the right edge where it's, like, you know that she can like, portray that. So, like, I'd like to see her do Rogue. I know that you're too busy with the Spider-Man, but just come to the mutant side. Just saying.
Did you see Far From Home yet?
Oh, my God, so good. So good. I liked it.
I loved it, too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mixed about the guy that plays as Mysterio, but other than that, I loved it.
You know, he plays a quirky character when he plays somebody like that. So I kind of anticipated it would be in that vein, but I love Jake Gyllenhaal, so.
No, the other thing I liked about this movie and the last one they did is that they brought the old school villains to these movies.
Yeah, and kept the design.
Yes.
It's not an easy design to sell for Mysterio. It's cheesy. Like, that's a dumb look. But, like, I mean, he looked rad. Like, and I thought they were going to go in a different direction with it, but, like, he looked awesome. So, I'm not mad about it. But
what's the most rarest piece of merchandise you own?
I can't say.
No?
No. Yeah, I can't say. So the one that I could say, I guess, well, I can tell you the rarest thing that I've touched, but it's not from a comic thing. It's actually, I got the chance to hold the face hugger from Aliens one time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's the rarest thing, though.
But the other thing you cannot say at all. No worries.
Nope, didn't happen.
Now, take us into a day of life of Meg. What happens in the morning to the afternoon to the night?
Oh, my gosh. I'm a morning person, so I wake up with the sun. I'm a special effects makeup artist, so in my recent life, it changes all the time, but in my recent life, I've been getting ready for a film that I'm doing in Louisiana soon.
Yes.
So I've been waking up 7 or 8 in the morning, just getting right into sculpting. I sculpt pretty much for like 10 hours straight. Sometimes I'll remember to eat. Sometimes I won't. But most of it is like sculpting, fielding phone calls. For this, it was interesting because I had to like remember to take breaks just to get my brain out of that space. It's a horror movie, so sometimes you just need to like. And this was really great because I got to take a few hours off and like do Rogue for a minute and do Soot Sprite for a minute and not like focus on like fingers coming out of someone's back. So, but yeah, typically for me, it's either in my studio or it's a day on set, which is usually like 12 hours. Takes about an hour to get there because it's LA.
It's very exciting that you have done all that for the horror movies and that you're sculpting also. I wish I could do it.
Hey, anybody can learn. You just have to take time, and it takes a lot of time.
What have you struggled with the most in your life?
Struggled with the most? Do you mean like what? In what context?
Anything you could think of.
I think I'm just really hard on myself with a lot of things, and I tend to be like overcritical of my work. And it's been learning to not get in my own way and to just put things out there because a lot of the time what I perceive as not being good enough or not being good at all, other people perceive much more positively. So it's been kind of like making sure that I don't stand in my own way. But it's been a long journey to learn that, but I'm finally starting to get a hang of it and to like just trust myself and trust my gut and say, no, this is good work just because it's not the goodest work that ever worked or like made out of pure gold. But yeah, it's been finding that balance of like learning to love what I do wholeheartedly and be confident and proud with it. So yeah.
If you weren't doing sculpting, what would you have seen yourself do?
I went to school originally for concept and character design, and I wanted to work in animated film. I'd probably be doing stop motion film for Leica or somebody of that sort, doing music videos or whatever. I love stop motion animation, miniatures. I love that kind of stuff. So that's probably where I would be.
Stop motion. That goes way back to the 1950s.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Good stuff, though. There's so many good stop motion films and companies out there. I've worked with Fonco in Los Angeles for Fawn Davis, and he's one of the ILM people. So just watching him do stuff, or like seeing the things that he has around the shop, or like, what? Like, he's got the beach from James and the Giant Peach. So cool.
James and the Giant Peach. That's also one of my favorite movies I watched when I was a kid.
I know, it's so good. I love it.
Now, you've taken pictures with many fans that's between the ages of maybe 6 years old up until maybe 30 or 40, or even 50.
Yeah.
You must have interacted with kids also. When kids look at you in your costumes, whether which character you're in, whether it's Rogue or some of the other characters you've done, what do they say to you, and what do you think when they come and stop to you for a picture or to meet you?
I think the coolest thing about cosplaying and like being in costume is that you are an extension of that character at that point. And it's always really important for me to protect that magic and to make sure that you are living that for, especially like little kids, you know, that's like their first, some of them it's their first con, it's their first introduction to these characters. It could be characters that they've loved forever, you have no idea. So I always try to remember, like, it's important to take time to stop and like interact with them and try and be as in character as possible, because you're leaving a lasting impression, and you could be inspiring them to go home and try and make their own cosplays, or some of them are even like, kids are in some I just saw a Gamora, like a young Gamora in her like little robe thing from her home planet. My whole heart, it was so good. I was like, what? How dare you look so good? But yeah, it's important to me that the magic that I've seen in cosplay is portrayed for them as well. So yeah.
Maybe some of them, and one day they could grow up and, you know, you'd probably be like, I remember you when you were little.
Yeah, I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Now, since we're here at Comic-Con, do you have any plans for the next few shows?
Oh, I don't know. I have for like the next Comic-Cons coming up?
Yes.
Actually, I was just talking with a friend, and I think we are going to put something together for LA Comic-Con. Another little mutant thing.
Oh, boy.
Because I just can't stop doing mutants. And I have a friend that I'm going to be making some armor for, potentially for LA Comic-Con. Other than that, probably LA Comic-Con will be my last con for this year, and then I'll pick back up with WonderCon and all that stuff next year.
I think that's in May next year, or March, is it?
Yeah, it's right around, I think March. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I missed Anime Expo, and then I missed Dragon Con this year, so next year I'm hoping that I have the time.
Would you ever go to New York Comic Con?
Oh, I've been to New York Comic Con.
Oh, you have?
I'm from New Jersey.
You're from New Jersey, I'm from New York.
Right on, yeah, sweet. What part?
I'm from Queens.
Yeah, I lived in Brooklyn for a while. That's awesome. Small world.
Yes, it is. Very small. I didn't know you were from Jersey.
No, yeah, I totally am. New York Comic Con is a whole different beast. It's a whole different thing.
Yes, it is.
It's much smaller, but it's interesting. It's just a different vibe. But I liked it a lot. I had a good time. Actually, I did like a Frozen thing there the year that I went.
I gotta see. Can you show me that when we get the chance?
Yeah, totally. It was not great, but it was there. I had to leave and photograph a Steve Madden's kid's birthday party. It was a whole thing. This is my life. But yeah. No, it was fun. It was a good time.
Would you go back to New York this year?
I mean, maybe if I was able to. That's October, right?
Yes, I think it's the first weekend of October.
If it's the first weekend of October, maybe. It's hard because that's my busiest month of the year with special effects. It's October. It's Halloween. So, yay, I love it. But I'd love to go back for sure. I know I'll be in that area at some point this year, so maybe we'll see if we can do October.
If you're out there, just let me know. We can meet up again.
Hell yeah, I'd love to. It'd be awesome.
Now, you're here now. What would you tell yourself 5 years ago if you weren't doing cosplay?
I would tell myself to give it a shot. I think I was super interested in it for a really long time. I've been to Otakon and everything on the East Coast. I accidentally crashed Otakon once because I didn't know it was happening that weekend. And then all of a sudden there were like 28 Pokemon trainers, and I was like, what? But it was a thing that I always really wanted to do and never thought that I could, never really put time into, never really like believed that like that's who I am.
Right.
I would tell myself, just give it a shot. Just do it. Just do it. It's not stressful. It's fun. Like everybody loves it. Doesn't matter like how screen accurate your cosplay is. It doesn't matter like if you bought it or if you made it. Like you're allowed to do whatever you want to do, and that's the beautiful part of it. So I would just be like, girl, do it.
This is not a plug for Nike, everyone.
No. Never.
Where can everyone find you on social media?
They can find me on Instagram at Little Monster Doll. You can find me on Twitter at cupcake_Meg. And just Meg Wilbur on Facebook.
All of which is you are on.
Yes. All of them. All the time. Find me. I'll be there.
She'll be there unless she'll take your powers.
I will. And your memories. And your life force.
You know, if I said Captain Marvel. If Rogue comes into the MCU, she needs to take Captain Marvel's powers.
Oh, I would give my left lung to do that.
It happened in
Carol
the comics.
Danvers, twice.
Yes.
I finally beat her fair and square. So, it is what it is.
Any closing thoughts before we go?
I hope you guys can make it out to one of the Comic-Cons or any of the other cons that are going on. And thank you for watching.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for coming on for the interview.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
You are welcome.